Hey, that's CJ on the track.
See, the diamonds ain't gonna do nothing but shine. And them watches only take away the time. I need something I can feel deep in my soul. I need more than just some silver and some gold. See, I pray for this and I beg to get to this day. Where I ain't worried about if my rent gon' get paid. Where I ain't worried about if that food gon' be on that table.
Good morning, Yankees universe, KOD nation, stand up, and all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this Tuesday, January 1st edition of the Yankees Morning Brew. I am your guy, Hector, and Yankee fans, how we doing? Let me shout out the chat real quick. I see Tyler Tabbitt is in the building. Tyler, what it do? Salute. My man Eric Wallace is in the building. EY, what it do? I see we got G-Man in the chat. G-Man, how you doing? TC Stills, of course, the one and only TC Stills is in the building. I see you. FJ is in the building. What it do? And my man Alan Landsman, what it do? Guys, if you can, as you can, hit those like for your boys as you come in. And of course, G-Man, buenos dias. What is good? We got a special guest coming over to have a conversation because this is what we do in the off season. You know, we got friends all around the Yankee community. So I sent this invitation out with somebody that I was on a conversation with my man Nathan Ramachandra from the NNR Hour, and it was a great convo. But let me bring her up without further ado. It's the one and only Sandy. Sandy, good morning. I think you're still muted.
Good morning, Hector. What's up?
Oh, I'm good. It is Tuesday. You know, we're a couple of weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training. But I'm good though, even though the Yankees news is a little slow right now. Sandy, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great this morning. About 9 o'clock here, Mountain Time.
Oh, nice. 11 over here on the East Coast
Almost
time.
Lunchtime.
Almost lunchtime. Yeah. But Sandy, before we start, thank you so much for taking time out this morning. Like you said, it's 9 o'clock over there by the mountains. And guys, as well, if you can, in the description below is the channel that Sandy's on right now with my man Julian. The latest video that they had with Andres Chaparro is in the description. I had a conversation with Andres Chaparro, and he won me over. I am a big fan of that young man. Sandy, before we continue, what's your thoughts about Chappie before we go?
Love him. He's phenomenal, intelligent guy. I mean, he's very respectful, and he's got good stuff. He's working hard all season. He's just trying to slim down, training, and hope to see him in Yankee uniform soon.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, he gets an invite to spring training and he opens some eyes. Because honestly, if you look at the trajectory of Andres Chaparro's career, he's not supposed to be here, right? From what he was when we first signed him, just a utility guy, just an infielder, that probably just a depth piece. But the way that he progressed over the years, he grew into his body because he shot up big. Like over the past couple of seasons, the young boy has been eating and it has been showing.
Está fuerte. He's strong.
Yeah, está fuerte. But Sandy, before we jump into any Yankees talk, I just want to let the people know about you. How did you get started as a content creator? Finding your way over here to the Yankee side of things in the content creating world. Just give people just a brief introduction of yourself.
Yeah, sure. I've been a Yankee fan basically all my life, and so my son plays ball. My brother, everyone in my family basically plays ball, and so I know the sport well, and just follow the Yankees mainly, and And so how did I start the content into content creating? Well, just on Twitter, social media, really, networking, meeting new people. And that's how I started.
Yeah, same. It was, same thing for me. Finding yourself on Twitter and then in different spaces. Sometimes we all have that bug to want to become a content creator. I always say that everybody probably has that bug, but it's just finding the right avenue or finding the right place to express yourself. And I always tell people, if you want to get into this thing of content creating, just go for it. Just stick your foot out there and just go for it. Hit record on your first video and let's just go for it. Before we continue, if I can, my man Big Blue is in the building. Blue, I see you. Michael Caputo, I see you. Caputo, hope all as well. Jonathan is in the building. I see you. And guys, just so you know, this Thursday coming up is the open panel. So if you're watching this and you have no idea what the open panel is, at 11:30 we put the open panel out and people in the chat can come on, and it's a good time hearing from different Yankee fans around the ethosphere, because us Yankee fans is nuts. Let's be honest, Sandy. When it comes down to it, we could be a little bit nuts. So it's good to have a soundboard of different Yankee fans just to throw ideas off of. What you think about that?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but is there like a specific game or that you could point to that you could say, like, this is when I became a Yankee fan? Do you have any remembrance from your youth coming up?
I can only remember Jeter. The core four is what I remember. Jeter, Pettit, Posada. I mean, those guys were I was a huge fan of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And a game that stands out. It would have to be like the World, when they won the World Series. I mean, the 90s, basically. Yeah. The 98, 99. Those were the good old days.
Yeah. No, of course. When I was younger, I wasn't able to fully enjoy the dynasty years of 96, 97. I mean, 96, 98, 99. I was too young. I will tune in here or there, but I was more of a Power Ranger fan around that time growing up. But in the early 2000s, my love for the Yankees, and I always tell this to people, it started because my mom is a diehard Mets fan. Like, my mom is a killer diehard Mets fan. And growing up, she just refused to allow me to root for her team. She wanted that rivalry inside the house. So from an early age, she had me become a Yankee fan so she could have that rivalry. So I always credit my mother with my knowledge of the game, with my love of the game, because she was a big time Met fan, taking me to the park, teaching me what shortstop, what second base. So I always credit my mom for that. Yeah. No,
who was her favorite player?
Oh, her favorite player.
Met? Do you know?
From the 80s, her favorite player was David Cone. From the 80s, she was a big Darryl Strawberry fan at the same time. Yeah. So my mom is an old school Brooklyn lady, born and raised Brooklyn, Puerto Rican, from Bed-Stuy. So she was a diehard Met fan. When she was a cop, she was a diehard Met fan, and people used to get on her for being a cop in the Bronx, being a Met fan.
That's awesome. She's She sounds badass.
No, my mom, she is badass. She's one of those ladies you do not want to run into in the train station. I'll tell you that right now. But Sandy, let's jump right into the Yankees conversation. And I brought this up in the message going back and forth with you yesterday about the winter meetings. You said it was so last year or whatever, but no, the winter meetings, even though it was last year, you were there covering it. Yeah, you were there covering it with our good friend Julian, and just.
You're muted for some reason.
Sorry about
Hector,
that. My
can you
mic
give me 1 second?
for a second. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Hold on.
Hector, we're live, right? Oh, okay. I can't hear you.
Driven
you can hear me now. For some reason, hold on one second. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Crazy. Sandy, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
I'm so sorry about that, guys. I literally hit my mic off. Sorry about that. Technical issues. Like my man Li Yankee King is in the building. Li, what it do? Again, my apologies, Sandy. Like I was saying when we were talking about the winter meetings, it was last year, but I just want you to walk us through the process of how it was covering the winter meetings, and was it your first time covering that?
It was my first time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a surreal feeling for me. As you know, I just said I grew up a Yankees fan, huge Yankees fans in the 90s. And so just seeing all these guys that I watched growing up, reporters that I followed on Twitter. Meredith was a big one, Jack Curry, CC Sabathia and his wife. I was like, forget about it. He's just amazing. And and also just the highlight I gotta say was Scott Boras, his press conference, and also Aaron Boone's press conference was like the highlight for me of the winter meetings. And it was just a very good feeling. Like I enjoyed being around reporters and just like all of the rumors, the trade rumors, and everyone like throwing out names here, like who's going where, it's just a great feeling. I recommend anyone to go, even if you don't even need credentials to go to the winter meetings too. So it's pretty awesome.
One thing I can say is when you bring up Meredith Morakovitz, I have fallen in love with the relationship that she has built with Susan Waldman, and seeing them on social media and how they react, like literally like a grandma and a young daughter, or an older mother and a young daughter. Their relationship on social media, to me, I'm super jealous. I think everybody out there should find yourself a friend like Meredith Morakovitz, right? And so she could take you places, because it's really giving Susan Waldman her flowers that she deserves, being in this industry for as many years as she has been. She needs to get all the recognition that she has in recent years, and
Absolutely.
she's one of the best.
Absolutely. She was on. Didn't she make the Hall of Fame? Susan Waldman. She made like the report, whatever it's called.
The Broadcaster Hall of Fame.
Broadcast Hall of Fame this year. Also, I want to add on to Meredith. She is a hard worker. She's a hard worker, very professional and poised. I mean, like I look up to her, honestly.
I'm not sure if you remember, but I remember back in the days in the early 2000s, they had the Yankees Road Trip, was that show that used to come on, late at night. And that's what she started from. She started on the Yankees Road Trip as a contestant, and then she just found her way gravitating to the Yankees. And I think her story has been amazing, starting off at the show and then making her way to the station.
She gave us very good advice. She said, just continue doing reps whenever you can. Always ask. You will get no a lot of times, like when you're asking for interviews and stuff. A lot of people will say no, but there will always be someone to say yes. And that interview with her is on our channel on Dugout Station on YouTube.
The link to the description to that latest video is in the description down below. You can click the video and then you'll be able to find the channel. And if you guys can, please support Sandy and Julie and sub to that channel as well. If I can, let me just give a shout out to my man NYY News. Ruben is in the building. Ruben, how you doing? And of course, Ryan and John from Still Nick fans. How you guys are doing? Hope all is well. Salute. But Sandy, at the winter meetings, I think I messaged you on Twitter, on Instagram during the time, asking you, where's Judge gonna go? Right. So if you can, I know everyone's tired of talking about Aaron Judge, but walk us through the whole situation with Aaron Judge, the pump fake with him supposedly going to San Francisco, and how all that just turned out not to be true.
Honestly, like no one was really, it was crazy just seeing, like, being there in the winter meetings and like reading all the tweets and all of the rumors and stuff like that. And you can sense that no one was really sure that he was going to be a Yankee, which was a scary fucking thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Honestly, when I woke up to, because I literally took like a midday nap after I went jogging for a few. Woke up to everyone just literally melting away for 30 minutes. Like there was a little 30-minute window that Yankee friends, their mind melted, their brain melted away with the idea of Aaron Judge leaving us. And knock on wood, at 5 o'clock in the morning, we got the good news that Aaron Judge is staying with for Yankee. And I think we're all happy at the end of the day when it comes to that.
Did you have any doubt?
Doubt when it first came out. When the news first came out, I had a little bit of doubt. But then as time went on and nobody knew what to make of the news, then I'm like, all right, maybe there's a little bit of hope. Maybe, but I was more 50-50. I was having a conversation with a news reporter, Jesse Winker, off of Twitter. We were just going back and forth, and he really thought that Aaron Judge was going to go to San Francisco. This is a guy that covers baseball on the West Coast. He said, "I'm putting all my coins in Judge going to San Francisco." I was upset.
Wow.
I was a bit hurt. Scott Braun is a friend of the show as well. He's from MLB Network. Him and I was having a conversation, a private on Discord, and the same thing. Everybody in the industry thought that Aaron Judge was going to go to San Francisco, but it turns out opposite.
And you know what? You have to credit Judge. Like Aaron Judge's camp. You have to credit his agents for keeping everything undercover on the DL, as they say, on the down low, like very low, that it had everyone wondering and doubting, because they just kept everything quiet.
Yeah, 100%. I have a question here in the chat. They want to know, what are your thoughts on the new hitting coach, Brad Wilkerson?
Is that for you?
No, that's for both of us. But I want to throw it your way. And sorry, Sandy. Brad Wilkerson being the second hitting coach on the staff. Normally, throughout the years, it's always been like one hitting coach, but now they're going with adding two different hitting coaches, different philosophies, different approach. What's your thoughts on Wilkerson as a new hitting coach?
That's a good signing. Let's see. He played for the Expos, is that right?
With the Montreal Expos and then went to the Texas Rangers. He finished his career in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken. But with the Montreal Expos, he had one season of hitting 30-plus home runs. With Texas, he had a season of hitting 20 home runs. But it's one of those guys that it makes sense that he becomes a hitting coach, because normally hitting coaches or pitching coaches are guys that spend 8 to 10 years around the league, but they have a lot of knowledge of the league. So seeing interviews of Brad Wilkerson, I'm super excited about what he's going to bring philosophy-wise to the hitting side of things. Hopefully he can turn Josh Donaldson around.
I think that's a good move. I think it's a good move, more because we were lacking in that area, as you know, towards the end of the season.
It's a good signing. It's it's shoring up the coaching staff, showing up the assistant hitting. For me, it's a good signing. It's a baseball lifer, a guy that has super extensive knowledge of the game. So, like I said, when it comes to philosophy, hopefully Brad can bring that over to the Yankees, because that's one thing we need. Brad Wilkerson in his career wasn't a guy that struck out a lot. So hopefully that approach helps also, of guys, Josh Donaldson, Aaron Hicks, people that are known for striking out. With the shift being gone, I think the signing is pretty good. I'm happy with that going into the season.
Yeah. I also like, speaking on that, I also like the Omar Minaya signing for our scouting management. I'm not 100% sure of his title, but he's going to be like help out the international signings. And the assistant GM helped me out with his name here. He was from San Francisco.
Sabian. I said Wilkerson again. Sabian, yeah.
Absolutely. 100% good signings right there.
Mm-hmm. I think this is the way that it should go. I understand Brian Cashman has been in this position. Brian Cashman has been a part of this team since 1986, right? I always joke around. Brian Cashman was on this team when Red Fox had a TV show on TV. That's how long Brian Cashman has been a part of the Yankees organization, right? If you think about it, right? So having different philosophies or having different minds, like a Sabian and like a Omar Minaya. And when it comes to scouting, Omar Minaya, he scouted some of the best of them. When you go back to what he did in Montreal with the Expos before they moved to Washington, Omar Minaya is a phenomenal scout. Omar Minaya was one of the first guys that came out there and said, listen, Acuna is going to be a monster, probably one of the best players in baseball, right? He came out there and said Julio Rodriguez, before anybody knew who Julio Rodriguez was going to be a monster. So from a scouting and talent perspective, Omar Minaya is that guy, and I'm so happy that the Yankees got him. It's not a bad move, in my opinion.
Yep. Absolutely.
Having more cooks in the kitchen to help balance it out seems like it's a good thing. That way Brian Cashman could just focus where he needs to focus on.
Yeah, we're going in the right direction. Too bad that we couldn't get some more signings this year.
Mm-hmm. It's all good, in my opinion. Hold on, wait 1 second. Yeah, but when it comes to like the free agency that we have right now, right? It's the frenzy is still the frenzy, right? People want to know what's going to happen in left field. What are the Yankees are going to do in left field? That's the big question, and that's something that we've been talking about for the longest, right? Blue Gold just threw some names in the chat. Juan Gonzalez is a guy that Omar Minaya scouted and signed. Pudge Rodriguez is a guy that Omar Minaya scouted and signed. So off of that, the list is itself. Shout out to Blue Gold, thank you for that. But when we look at left field, Sandy, what's your thoughts on the big question that is left field for the Yankees?
So, like on Twitter, we have a group chat, like we call it the OG group chat, like a couple of us friends on Twitter. Everyone has a group chat on Twitter, whatever. So I put out a comment, I think like a month or two ago. I said, guys, don't be shocked if you see Aaron Hicks on our starting opening lineup. I'm calling it. He's going to be on the starting opening lineup. I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen. Thoughts?
Please, in the chat, please keep your comments to yourself. No, but listen, when you hear how Brian Cashman has answered the question, when it comes to Aaron Hicks in left field, Brian Cashman has said it. Listen, this guy most likely will win the job. You know, he may be the guy, and he's gonna go with Aaron Hicks until the wheels fall off, right? He's gonna try to make, it's like the movie Mean Girls. He's trying to make fetch happen. He's going to try to make fetch happen as long as he can, and he's gonna try to make this Aaron Hicks experiment work. Tyler Tabbitt said it in the chat. Cashman loves Aaron Hicks.
And
Cashman and Donaldson. Yeah, obviously Donaldson. But when it comes to Aaron Hicks, he loves Aaron Hicks even from his days in Minnesota. You know, he traded John Ryan Murphy in order to get Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks had an okay first half of a season with us, and then we gave him a contract extension. And ever since that contract extension, he was never able to duplicate what he did that season prior that he got the extension. But yeah, I agree. Hicks will be the opening day left fielder, and Donaldson probably will be the opening day third baseman, if not DJ LeMahieu.
Yes.
But at the trade deadline, we know Brian Cashman, as the season goes on, different opportunities present themselves. I feel at the trade deadline, Hicks and Donaldson won't be in the lineup, right? Maybe to start off the season, they'll be in the lineup. But when we get closer to the trade deadline, you get to eat a guy's salary, cut him for the rest of the year. Donaldson and Hicks will probably be a part of those cuts, if not trades.
That's what you think. We'll eat Donaldson's salary.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, because when it comes to Josh Donaldson, Sandy, we were sold on the idea when we acquired Josh Donaldson last offseason, right, that it was to upgrade offensively and defensively at that position, right? Look at what Gio did with Minnesota last year. Phenomenal. He had a better offensive. And you look at the defensive metrics, maybe Josh Donaldson did have a better defensive season, but we didn't trade for Donaldson for his defense. We traded for his bat to be an impact bat in the lineup, to be one of those guys that's not going to strike out a lot, that's going to walk, that's going to put the ball in play with runners in scoring position, and he was totally the opposite. When you look at his numbers, he had the worst statistic offensive numbers since his rookie season. So when it comes to Donaldson, I hope he could fix it, but it was a total mess last year at third base.
Seeing him strike out, especially in those postseason games, and keep seeing him up in the lineup day after day. Like, they were giving him chance after chance instead of like putting any other guy. I don't know. I don't know. That's another story with Boone and managing the lineup. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic for a whole nother day when it comes to that. But when it comes to the opening day lineup for the 2023 Yankees, and you compare it to what the opening day lineup was for the 2022 Yankees, I'm just read off some names for you, Sandy. Josh Donaldson led off the game. That's first and foremost. Donaldson led it off. Then you had Judge. Then you had Rizzo. Then you had Stanton. And then you had Glaber. Then you had Joey Gallo. Then you had Aaron Hicks. Then you had Kyle Higashioka. And then you had Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Out of everybody that I named with that 2022 lineup, we can agree that probably 3 of those guys aren't going to be in the lineup for 2023. Joey Gallo's gone, right? I think Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is going to lose his job at shortstop to Peraza. We could probably agree on that. When it comes to Gleyber Torres, I'm not sure if the Yankees are going to keep him or trade him. What's your thoughts on Torres? Do you think he's overvalued or undervalued for the Yankees? Do you think Yankee fans underappreciate Gleyber Torres, or this is just what he is as a player?
I think this might be Gleyber Torres last year as a Yankee. The fact that well, that's great. They didn't have to take it to arbitration, right? They met in the middle somewhere. Gleyber wanted 10 point. They offered him 9.7. He wanted 10.2. They met at the middle at 9.95. I believe he's worth the 10.2.
I think the 9.55 was super weird. Sorry to cut you off. It's like, just give him the 10 million. Like, what's stopping you?
So that alone, just like, it's an indication that it's possibly his last year as a Yankee, you know? They may trade him at the deadline. I would like to see him play for a team that'll appreciate him. I don't feel he's appreciated here. Like his work.
I think it's because we were expecting so much from Gleyber Torres as a fan base, especially after the season when he popped 38 home runs. We all thought that was like the plateau he was going to take to stardom. We all thought that's what it was, and he never was the same after that, right? We saw a flash of it last season, but I agree with you. Gleyber Torres' days in New York are probably numbered. Hopefully he starts the season with us, but if we could upgrade, we got to upgrade. We can upgrade whenever we can, but we got to upgrade if we can.
I mean, at the moment, there's not a good second baseman out there better than him that can put up those same numbers. 2022, most people will argue that 2018 was a better year for Gleyber. I think 2022 was one of his best years. If you take out that month, he did poorly somewhere in August, I believe. But it's one of his best years. I mean, he's ranked second in 2022. He's ranked second in RBIs as a second baseman, ranked second in RBIs, third in home runs, and fifth in WAR. That's like the best second baseman you can get at this point. So the narrative that let's trade him because he's lazy, that's fucking bullshit.
There's so many players that we could point to in this lineup that are lazy, that don't bust it down the line. There's so many different guys other than Gleyber Torres, but it's when you're bad, people are going to try to pick whatever they can to point at you and point out your flaw whenever you're doing bad.
But honestly, like in that same token, yes, we have these prospects coming up. Volpe, Peraza. Yeah, we're outnumbered when it comes to infielders. So not only that, he can possibly like help out another team, and we can actually give our prospects some
Chaz Chisholm from the Miami Marlins. Also, as well, shout out to Chaz Chisholm. He made the cover for MLB 2023. Knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't lead to bad luck. He gets injured or anything, because it always happens whenever you're the cover athlete of MLB The Show. That next season, you get injured. Fernando Tatis was the cover athlete last year. He got injured. The year before, Bryce Harper Bryce Harper he got injured. Aaron Judge was 2018, he got injured. So it's like anytime you're the cover athlete of MLB The Show, you wind up getting injured. David Wright, if you remember David Wright with the Mets, he was the cover athlete of MLB The Show, and then he got injured.
Knock on wood. Let's break that curse,
knock on wood.
Man.
Yeah, let's break that curse.
Did you want Judge as a Yankee fan? Did you want Judge on the MLB The Show cover? Yeah.
And it was honestly, if you look at the color palette, I'm big into colors and stuff. If you look at the color palette, it was phenomenal. Black and gold, like it was amazing what they did and I wanted him selfishly as a Yankee fan, wanted him to be on the cover. And as a Yankee fan, selfishly, I'm glad that he's going to be with us for the next 9 years, right? For the next 9 seasons, we have Aaron Judge locked in. I know a lot of people talk about the age and stuff like that. I look at Judge a little bit different. When you look at how Judge handles his body, he doesn't compare next to a Richie Sexton, who is probably the same height, wasn't the same body. Aaron Judge takes care of his body, not like a lot of other athletes. Aaron Judge puts the work in to make sure that he's healthy. So for me, over the next 5 years, 31 to 35, he could be a right fielder. That's when Giancarlo Stanton's contract is over, once Judge turns 35. And when that happens, Judge can be a full-time DH. Yep. It works perfect for me. And in my eyes, it's a perfect transition.
What a year he had, man. What a year he had. Remarkable. Did you go to any of the games? No.
I went to 9 games last year. And of those 9 games I went to last year, Judge homered in 7 of them.
Wow.
Judge homered in 7 of them last year. And no, I had an amazing time at the stadium last year. Hold on. I got my producer Jigga Man with the Aaron. Yeah. Sorry about that. My producer loves to jump in the show here and there.
That's awesome.
No, but Nan, were you able to attend any of the games? I know you're over on the West Coast. But
yeah, I think I did 4. We went 4-0.
Nice.
Yeah, we did 4, and then Judge hit 2 home runs too. So I watched him. I just think the whole home run chase, and the Triple Crown. Even I wish he would have got the Triple Crown, but man, he's incredible.
He didn't get the Triple Crown last year. Hopefully in 2023, he gets a Triple Crown in 2023. No, but they're going forward right now because MLB, they're going to be putting a lot of rule changes going forward, especially for this season. I want to get your take on it, Sandy, because I was having a conversation with Andre Chaparro about the rule changes at the major league level, knowing that they try it or practice it, but they use like the minor league levels as a testing ground. Right,
I need to research more on that. I really don't know much about that, but that's such a good topic.
With Andre Chaparro, we were talking about the robo umpires, right? In the minor leagues, they don't have robo umpires calling every pitch, but what they do have is a process of, if you're the hitter and you think the pitch was a ball and not a strike, you get to challenge the ball and strike call, right? So I was asking Andre, how was that when you first came in as a young player? He's like, honestly, the first year, he's like, I didn't even notice it. He's like, so if you learn it at a young level, if you learn it in the minor leagues when you're 17, 18, 19 years old, by the time you get to the major league level, it'll be second nature. You won't even think about it, right? So seeing it for the first time, I went to see the Tampa Bay Tarpons, and Jason Dominguez, right, was leading off the game, went down to Tampa, went to go see it, and he challenged it. At first, I was like, what is going on? He stepped out the batter's box, went like this, and it was obviously a ball. So I like being able to challenge the umpire. Sometimes umpires may have some ego. Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that highlight.
Yeah. I was at that game. Funny enough, hold on, wait.
Don't tell me you have a signed ball by Jason Dominguez. I'm gonna freak out.
I was sitting right behind home plate. He fouled the ball through the net, and I caught it. And I got it right here, and I'm trying to hunt him. That's why I'm gonna be on Nathan's coattails this entire Somerset Patriots season, because I'm gonna get Nathan to get this signed by Jason.
You have to. He's gonna be a beast, and we need to keep him. Okay, here's a question for you.
What's up, Sandy?
When there was trade rumors going around about wanting Reynolds, right? Mm-hmm. We know that the Pirates were looking for prospects, top prospects. What would you, if any, prospects would you have been willing to give up for Reynolds.
Not Jason. Not Jason.
No.
The top three when it comes to this is my top three. I know it's ranked differently. Baseball America, the Yankees. My top three is Volpe, Dominguez, and Spencer Jones. Those are my top three prospects, right? I can give up an Austin Wells, an Oswald Peraza, maybe a Will Warren. I can give up those prospects. But seeing Jason Dominguez in person and seeing the type of body he has, the physical body he has, and his style of play, all he needs is remember how Derek Jeter, if you watch the Derek Jeter documentary, he talks about Gerald Williams, how Gerald Williams was that big brother in the minor league system to help him grow up and mature. That's what Jason Dominguez needs. He needs someone that could be at the same level as him as a big brother mentor, right? Because you think about the culture shock coming from DR at such a young age, 16 years old, 17 years old, to the States. You're automatically touted as the next Mickey Mantle, the next Mike Trout. Your ego, your head gonna get big, right? You're not gonna have the same passion for the game like you had when you was 15 or 14 years old, because everybody's saying you're the next one up without you putting the work in. Right. So I think Jason needs that big brother in the minor league system to help him along the process.
Who can be that guy?
I have no idea, honestly. I have no perfect scenario, and this is a perfect scenario. I know it will never happen because we would probably have to include him in order to trade for this player. But a perfect scenario would be if the Yankees were able to get Juan Soto, and Juan Soto could be that mentor for Jason Dominguez from the major league level to the minor league level. If we were able to get one, that's something that I can see being like a mentor type thing.
Remind me, why didn't we get Soto?
They wanted too much. They wanted too much in return. If you look at what San Diego gave up out of their top five, they gave 4 out of the top 5 prospects, right? If I can real quick, let me shout out my man Pete Simonetti, the balls from NYY News TV. Pete, what it do? Salute. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. I got another one. Anthony Medina's in the building. Anthony, what it do? Yeah. So when it comes to Jason Dominguez, right? That's what I think that he's missing. He's missing that big brother, someone who's not going to be afraid to tell him, "Mira, manganzon, let's get on the field and do what we have to do when it comes to the work." So yeah. But when it comes to trading for Brian Reynolds,
yeah.
I like Brian Reynolds, right? I think he's an amazing piece when it comes to Brian, but I just think Pittsburgh, they're going to try to fleece whoever they trade with. They're going to try to get the most they can in return. And if it comes down to Jason Dominguez, Anthony Volpe, that's when I hang up the phone. I'm not giving both of them up, right? If I have to give one of them up, cool. I can live with giving one of them up. I just don't want to give up both of them.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees weren't doing it either.
When you look at this past trade deadline with Luis Castillo, the pitcher who us Yankee fans we all wanted, he wound up going to Seattle. The Cincinnati Reds, they wanted Volpe, Dominguez, and more prospects. And the Yankees weren't doing that. They weren't going to trade. The Yankees were willing to trade Jason Dominguez. They was willing to give up Jason Dominguez, but Cincinnati wanted Anthony Volpe and Jason Dominguez. And that's when the Yankees hung up the phone.
That's interesting. They were willing to give up Dominguez. I wonder why. I mean, I don't know. Do you see mixed feelings about him? I don't know why. He's a beast. Why are there mixed feelings about him?
It's I don't seeing him in person. It didn't seem like there was something that was off. But the only thing to me was, and it's not the lazy. People keep saying lazy. It's not the lazy thing. What's
the fucking lazy narrative? Like,
I don't. It's not the lazy thing. It's being focused, right? For me, as somebody that battles with ADHD, I understand how hard it is to be focused 150% all the damn time. Right. Yeah. So I kind of get it. Right. But if you're a young kid, it stands out more if you're a young kid, especially if you're in the Yankees farm system. Everybody's going to point to every flaw that you have. When you look at players like Austin Wells, he looks like he's born to be a Yankee. Right. Anthony Volpe, same thing. Looks like they're born to be a Yankees. Yes. Jason Dominguez doesn't seem like that. He seems like he has a swagger and a demeanor to him that I'm not sure the Yankees development level.
Look, we need that swagger though.
We do. Let me shout out Julian. My man Julian's in the building. What it do? Actually, Julian was at one of the Yankee games that I was at. We were at the same game when we got the Derek Jeter plaque. For the Derek Jeter game, we were there at the same game. Him, Nathan. It was a bunch of us there at that Yankee. That's the game that Aaron Hicks decided to show up. You know what? It's a 7:00 game with Derek Jeter. I'm gonna show up at 4:30 at the stadium to get my work in, which I thought was a horrible thing to do. That's the game that Aaron Boone had to take him out because the fans were booing him and throwing stuff at him in left field. That was that game.
Jeez.
Yeah. But let's switch gears just a little bit have you just for a little bit longer. When it comes to the Yankees offseason, right? Obviously, Aaron Judge, big fish, we signed him. What's your thoughts and feelings about Carlos Rodon and the pitching staff that we have going into this season?
Like, I'm the type of person I gotta see it with my eyes. Like, I won't just feed into the hype. I need to see it. Like, for example, Bader. Everyone's like, let's extend him right now, dude. Calm down. Let's get a full year of him first before we do anything. Like, so I just want to see what he's got. His shit looks good. I mean, I'm excited to see him pitch, honestly.
So happy that we get a full season with Harrison Bader, right? I think yes. Harrison Bader is going to help out the pitching staff tremendously from his defense. Sandy, how many times last year that you were watching the Yankee game, and credit to Aaron Judge because he's a right fielder that they have playing in center field. But how many times do you remember last year watching the games, whether it was Aaron Judge or Aaron Hicks in center field, and there's a fly ball that falls right in front of their feet? So many times. I can remember that so many times last year. That's not going to happen with Harrison Bader. No. His speed and range will make up for that. Hell, his first game with the Yankees, he caught a ball that was supposed to be in right field and left field center for a double, and he was able to run that down. So having him for an entire season will be tremendous for this
100%. And on that same note, Cabrera seems like he has that same range, just like Bader too. So I'm excited to see him out there some more. He's a great utility, obviously. He can do it all. That kid, he's going to be a star, Cabrera.
If you guys haven't been seeing his off-season workouts, go on Instagram. Go look up Ozzy Cabrera. Go look up his Instagram. The amount of fly balls he's taken out in the outfield, you could tell that kid is going to be ready. He's ready. He's going to be ready for this season, right? He understood last year, infielder. He was put out in the outfield when he never played he hardly played any outfield in his career. So now that he had an off-season practice in the outfield, just imagine how much better he is going to be from that point.
Incredible.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Man, we're jumping all over the place. We're talking about a little bit of everything.
Oh, well, that's what I do over here, Cindy. I apologize if this is chaos. I apologize. I love it. I love it. No, but when you brought up that number from Gleyber Torres, the 9955, that number, when I first saw it, and I admitted, having ADHD, it drove me nuts seeing that number because I'm somebody that I need everything to land on a 0 or a 5. That's just me. When I see it, I'm like, why can't you just give him the 5 to make it 10? You're driving me nuts.
I think they're saving some money for maybe the off season, getting a left fielder possibly.
Profar, because I know like that he's been the hot, the name that's been coming around recently. What's your thoughts on Profar?
I like him. I like him for a year or two. That's it. But I think he's looking for more. He's looking for about $7 million or more. Actually, he turned down a $7 million deal. Actually, so
in 1 year, $7 million.
Yeah, I mean, no, for that, no. But
I'm not going over $10 million for Profar. I'm not going over $10 million for Profar. No, not whatsoever. And for me, it was weird seeing the Yankees. They let Andrew Benintendi walk and go to Chicago to the White Sox. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it because we don't need 4 or 5 year. We don't need another 4 or 5 year contract. I mean, how old was Benintendi? I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, but 20.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, we don't need another Donaldson contract or whatever. I think it was fine. It was fine, and we'll we're better off, honestly. How about you? What were your thoughts?
I was a bit surprised, Sandy, when he signed with the White Sox, because I didn't hear anything about the White Sox even contacting him, right? And seeing that he signed for $15 million a season when he was making $17 million with the Yankees, he signed for less money with the White Sox than when he was making with the Yankees prior to that season before. So for me, it was a shocker. But like you said, we don't need another commitment of 4 to 5 years when we have all this youth in the pipeline. And also when you look
And
at
Dominguez,
the
we got Dominguez coming up. Nope.
and then the free agency pools over the next couple of seasons, we didn't need a commitment from Benintendi. Would I have liked Benintendi back? Absolutely. I would have liked Andrew Benintendi back, getting a healthy Andrew Benintendi for the playoffs. I would have loved that. But for a 4 to 5 year contract, knowing that we have kids in the pipeline, knowing that we may have to move some pieces around, it didn't make sense for the Yankees.
Right. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when it comes to, what do you think about Estevan Florial? I got somebody in the chat bringing up Florial. What's your thoughts on Estevan Florial and the Yankees not giving him a proper chance to, enough time to win that position at the major league level?
I don't know. I mean, that was an interesting, like, why the Yankees never gave him a chance, honestly.
You know, at least give the kid 20 major league at bats in a row or 30 major league at bats over the span of 2 weeks just to see what he can have. If you're going to give Clint Frazier, aka Jackson Frazier, 2 months a couple of seasons ago to see if he could play left field, why not give the same opportunity to Estevan Florial?
Yeah, I was just looking up his stats. He only had 31 at bats last year.
Mm-hmm. And it was sporadic too. It's not like anything was consistent.
Correct.
It was a couple of bats here, send you down, bring you back up. A couple of bats. It wasn't anything consistent.
I don't get that. I mean, you can ruin a guy's career that way. I honestly don't get it.
Yeah.
Same with Peraza. I was just hoping like Peraza won't be the same deal. Like when he brought him up, I am prepared to play left field if need be.
I see. Listen, Pete, if we need you in left field, Pete, we'll put you in left field before we put Aaron Hicks up in left field. But no, I was glad that Cabrera was able to get the start right when he came up, and the Yankees, they didn't veer away from him. Right, I think the energy that he brings, it was well needed last year.
Cabrera, yes, but I was unhappy with them bringing up Peraza and not playing him. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he should have played more games.
No, I 100% agree with you, Sandy. When it came to Peraza, if you look at Peraza's number and the limited of at bats that he had at the major league level, he hit over 300. He had a home run. He had a couple of doubles. He wasn't striking out. There was some at bats that he looked overmatched, but that was because that was expected at the major league level. But there was some at bats that he looked like he was totally engaged and ready to take over.
And he played the field well. He played no IKF mistakes. He fields every fucking ball.
Mm-hmm. He's when you look at the metrics, Peraza is the best fielding shortstop that we have in our system. So we need to play him, right? I understand people want to see Volpe at shortstop, but I've been saying this: Volpe is going to be a second baseman.
Oh no!
Everybody compares.
No, not you too, Hector. Not you too.
I'm sorry, Sandy. We was having a great conversation. I'm so sorry if this was what steered it in the wrong way, Sandy. I apologize, but I do not believe that Volpe has the arm strength to be an everyday shortstop. Peraza is the better defender. I will let Peraza be the shortstop. Let Volpe be the second baseman. I know everybody compares Volpe to Derek Jeter, but there's nothing wrong with being Dustin Pedroia at the same time.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to come back and do another pod after we see more of these guys.
Yeah.
Peraza's going to win the job.
Yeah, I think Peraza's going to win the job, especially in spring training, because Peraza was called up last year, right? So when it comes to service time, the Yankees manipulated Peraza's service time last year, right? So when it comes to this season, his service time starts this year. Volpe is going to be in the same boat. The Yankees are going to keep Volpe in the minor league system for the first month of the season to try to manipulate that service time so they can get an extra year of control on Volpe for arbitration. It's a business part of the game that we all hate. You know, we want to see Volpe be the opening day second baseman or shortstop, but we understand it's a business. there's parameters about the business, and the Yankees try to use every parameter to their advantage. So knowing that you can keep a kid in the minor league system for a month and a half or for a month, so you can get an extra year of control before they hit free agency, the Yankees are going to try to take advantage of that.
Makes sense.
Honestly, if you're a GM and you don't try to take advantage of that, you're not doing your job properly, honestly. The only team that didn't do that was the Seattle Mariners with Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez was with them opening day.
No.
But look what they did to him. They gave him that contract extension during the season.
Dude's awesome.
I think it's fun. I think the Yankees, they need to take this Julio Rodriguez situation and then the Aaron Judge contract negotiation, put that in the back of your mind. Because when Volpe comes up, if he hits the ground running and he's a beast, and if Jason Dominguez the same thing, make sure you give those kids an extension before they reach free agency so you can avoid what happened with Aaron Judge.
Yes.
100%.
No, really, agree 100%. They could have saved money on Aaron Judge.
Yeah. You listen, Sandy, as a Yankee fan, right? Let me tell you this. If let's go back in time. If the Yankees would have offered Aaron Judge after his rookie year, hitting 50 home runs, 10 years, $200 million, or 10 years, $150 million, would you have been mad as a Yankee fan?
No.
Bingo.
No.
And they would have saved $150 to $100 million.
Thank you.
They would have saved all that money. If I could just shout out the chat real quick. Hold on one second. Eric Wallace, I see you in the building. Eric Wallace was like, "Oh, sounds like somebody is chewing on a squeaky toy back there." Yeah, we can. We're all dog parents.
We got pets.
we all got pets. My man Pete says, "Tell him, Sandy." That's right. Make sure the Yankees give out them contract extensions before we can go anywhere.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. Okay, Alan Lansman said Susan Waldman said that Benny liked his old hitting coach that was with the Royals that joined the Chicago White Sox. He also wanted out of the East Coast, which is understandable. Thank you, Alan, for putting that into the chat. And if you're Andrew Benintendi, that's what everybody kept saying. He doesn't like the big city. He doesn't like, and people want to say, "Oh, but Chicago is a big city." It's not New York City, right? Let's be real.
If you don't like a job or you don't like where you're at, you're not going to perform your best. He didn't like to be a Yankee. He wasn't going to perform his best here. So it's best for us not to keep him. That's all I have to say about Sandy,
that. When you look at the numbers, when we traded for him, he had 321 batting average. With the Yankees, he batted 251. So that should go and tell you that hitting 321 with the Kansas City Royals is not the same with the Yankees. It's a different pressure cooker. It's different situations. You're not going to get the same. If you're losing a game 5-0, a pitcher's not going to pitch you with the same intensity he's going to pitch you if the game's 1-1 going into the 7th or 8th inning.
That's amazing, huh? How some players don't pan out here in the city.
It's just the stadium metrics. They see that short porch in right field and they want to just put. What do you think it is? Or you just think, the pressure of the city is just a bit too much for them?
Yeah. Takes a certain kind of personality.
Yeah, not everybody could be Derek Jeter, right? How long did it take Alex Rodriguez to figure that out before 2009, right? Yeah. All right, Sandy, before we dip out though, Sandy, please let the people know where they can find you social media wise, because I know I put the description to your YouTube down in the description of the video. So let them know where they can find you, where you and Julian are at, and is it an everyday thing or do you guys put videos out every other day? Like, let the people know so they can find you.
Sure. So you can follow me on Twitter, Sandy Molinares, and also I have a stats account, Sandy Stats on Twitter. Follow Julian and I. We have a podcast called Dugout Station. We're on YouTube and Twitter. It's simple, Dugout Station, and we cover prospects. We cover we have a lot of interviews with prospects, and winter meetings coverage is on there, and reporters as well.
And if you're big into murder mysteries, they got the Two Stone Detectives that Sandy's a part of. That
also follow me at Two Stoner Detectives. I love true crime. That's another
same
hobby of mine.
Growing up, which true crime show did you watch on TV?
Unsolved
Which was the show that
Mysteries.
Bingo? And you said it like I couldn't even get the words out before you
Shit.
said it. Sandy, I
Hector,
appreciate
it was
you.
a pleasure. Thank you so
Yes.
much for having me.
No,
This is
I
fun.
appreciate you for coming by. Just know it's an open door policy. Anytime you're free and you want to come by, just shoot me a message and you're more than welcome to come
That's
on,
what's
Sandy.
up. Thank
If you're
you.
working on any projects in the future and you need a place to come promote it, you're more than welcome to come and promote it over here, Sandy.
Thank you so much. Your show is awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Sandy. Guys, if you guys can, please, like I said, make sure you follow Sandy and Julian, right? Put those likes, hit those likes for you guys as well. I see Julian in the chat right now. My man Julian, salute. Julian, I gotta get you on the show again. I had Julian on the show during the season, towards the end of the season, but I'll definitely get Julian back on again so we can kick it. Yeah, it was a great conversation. Anthony, thank you so much. Make sure you follow Sandy. Great job. Julian and Sandy, they do real good work in the Yankee space. It's real good work that they put out. Like I said, they just had an interview with Andres Chaparro. Go and check that out. I'll put the description and I put the link to the video in the description of this video. Appreciate you guys for always supporting. Great show, TC Stills. Appreciate you, my guys. Salute. Guys, also, April 1st, make sure you guys are there. NYY News TV, we are taking over Yankee Stadium, and we are running wild in Yankee Stadium. Make sure you tune in this Friday on Get Yanked on NYY News TV. We got a special announcement, so make sure you tune in this Friday, NYY News TV, Get Yanked. That way you could be get the news, because we got going to be dropping a bomb on you guys, right? It's going to be like Fun Flex dropping a bomb on Hot 97 back in the days, right? But guys, appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm your guy, Hector. And like always, peace, salutation, and don't forget your coffee. Deuces.